We're back.
We're bleeding back.
And better than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know it.
Oh, yes.
We have had a jammy day, haven't we?
We've had a bloody jammy day. Happy Monday, guys.
How are we feeling on the Mondays?
Do you know what? I've felt tried and tested this Monday.
Did you?
I felt all over the bloody shop. But do you know what? Now I'm sat.
But now she's better.
And I'm zen.
Yeah, she's... but although you had a fabulous weekend...
Guys, I did.
2024 is in the swing of it.
I had a fabulous weekend.
You know the 12 grapes, everyone? They're coming to us.
12 grapes.
Yeah.
Did I find my true love? Maybe.
Well, do you know... Well, actually, we think that you might have found your true love, but not the one we're referring to right now. So, Katie... Yes!
I've rolled into the new year on fire.
On fire, yeah. No underestimating it.
No, this is the peaches year. You know, like Chinese New Year? It's year of the peach.
Year of the peach, year of the peach. Okay, so shall we crack on because we've got a really nice episode?
We have a gorgeous
We've got a
episode.
cheeky guest.
Oh.
Don't we?
Yeah.
We've got a guest. But we're not going to tell you yet. We're going to do our mantras.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
tell
go
me what your
bitch.
mantra is.
Okay. I'll go.
You go, bitch.
Let me tell you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your only limit is your mind. How nice is this?
Real.
And do you know what? I was genuinely thinking to myself the other day, I was like, God, I've got so much on. I was like, I want to do the pod stuff and all this going on. And then I was like, but darling, you can do this. I was like, the only thing stopping you here is that little Nelly in your head saying...
Little?
Yeah, you know it, saying...
You got a big old brain, girl.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Yeah.
But saying to me, like, you know, you can't do this. And then when I'm like, do you know what? Piss off. Get out my face. I'm like, I absolutely can do this.
The policeman on
and
your
I'm gonna
shoulder.
Yeah. So I'm just like, only limit, what was it? The only limit is your mind.
Yes.
So go into the week thinking, okay, got so much fitness to do. I can do it.
Oh, I've got
I can do it. If your mind is telling yourself that you can do it, you can. Remember what Elle said. If you think you can, you can.
Yes.
Okay, love it. Go on, Peach, what's yours?
We must be on some fucking wavelength because mine is, I can do anything if I believe it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
I could do anything
if I believe it.
Yeah, you love it, you know it.
I ran 6
Oh my God, yes she did.
Right, guys. May not sound like a lot. However, I am Shin Splint's #1 fan. Shin Splints love me. And I can never, and I've always seen
so impressed.
5K as like the unachievable distance.
The ultimate
distance. Ran fucking 6 and I was like, ooh, light work.
Yeah,
I
was, do you know what? I was so proud of you because
I would nearly cried.
When we started off, I thought, okay, here we go. I was like, I'd actually called like Nightingale at the end, like to bandage up your feet because I thought she won't be able to, you know, that red face did it. She was at the end living her best life.
Red face?
Yeah. You know, you at the end, you were like,
I was rouge.
You were like Breakfast Club. You were like, I fucking did it. And I was like,
I felt like I was in a movie, guys.
Darling.
I genuinely, and I was like,
and I kept asking you because we tried to talk. So I was like, oh, isn't this so nice? And you're like, yeah.
We were doing really well for like the first 4K and the last 2 I was like,
and I didn't know if you were just like, look, I want my own time, or if you were like, I need to breathe. So then I literally aimlessly looked over like the London Eye like, isn't this lovely? I was like, this is so nice. You're like, No, but I am so proud of you as well.
I genuinely, I was like, I can't believe it. And do you know what, guys?
Next you'll be doing a half marathon with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I genuinely, hats off to anyone who can even run a fucking 10K. The thought of doing 4K after that run, I was like,
And so let's do songs. So my song is, was this supposed to be about bloody, acting great? You know it.
I was a bit confused there at the beginning.
It's alright, just in case anyone doesn't, which I'm sure they did because that was genuine perfection. Well, this is what I saw Katie getting absolutely pegged to. No, honestly, it was only a get. Only. I'm like, oh God, I'm like,
moment
so
shared on the dance floor.
I genuinely do feel like sometimes, like Katie and I were in the club for New Year's, and I was so embarrassing. Like, I just genuinely like.
You won?
No, but something came over me and I was
no, you
I'm
and Arch.
16 again. I was like,
Sometimes
it was the first time it was almost like I just thought, do you know what? This is the first time I've ever seen a man.
Yeah.
And I was just like on one. I was like, what am I doing?
No, everyone has that. Friend of ours, that was the first time he'd seen a woman, clearly.
Yeah, genuinely.
Everyone has those moments.
We were all just on it.
Everyone was just on it.
I know. I felt like an absolute princess. It's like finally got one pube and off I go. I genuinely was like, what has got into me? But anyway, what's your song, darling?
My song
Tell me.
You're not ready.
Okay.
It's yes. And say that shit with your chest. You're not telling me you haven't heard this. Ariana Grande's new song.
Oh, what's it called?
Yes, and the pauses don't feel as good when there's no music behind.
No,
I'm like,
no,
yes.
yeah. I was just like,
and
I thought you were gonna go, yes, sir. I can boogie.
That would have been a great.
Yeah.
One,
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Change it. Recommendation. Yeah, suspense there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah.
Okay, so our recommendation this week is all to do with our really special guest that we've got on.
Hell yes.
And it's to do with Katie's triumph of being...
My Usain Bolt moment.
Honestly, we're going to just be calling you like, you know...
Who's the one that...
Shat on the road. Well, who was that woman?
No!
Yeah.
I was thinking more like Jessica Ennis.
In reference to our run that we did this week,
Yes.
and we're going to have a really special guest on. It's all to do with the run we did this week, and the run we did was with a running club.
Yes.
Called These Girls Run.
These Girls Run.
And it was absolutely amazing. It's a running club that's like a wellness and fitness club. They do runs through 9 different cities in the UK.
Yeah.
And we did the one obviously in London, but we did it in Battersea, and we did
In
a
the
nice
power station.
in the power station. We all met at
gorgeous.
Sweaty Betty. There were about
Yes.
25 girls.
Yeah, it was
such a
amazing.
little girly vibe. It was so nice, and we all met and dropped our stuff off. So
Yeah.
don't worry about like bringing things. It was amazing.
So much fun.
And it's so empowering,
great.
girls. Like,
Yes.
this is what Katie found, that she was
Yeah.
thinking, I don't think I'll be able to do a 5K. You also had a pretty shit day before you arrived.
Yes, I did.
So you weren't really in the mood,
was
and you were
not
like,
vibing.
oh God, Kit, like I'm not really feeling this.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you felt invincible.
See, it was amazing.
And I think if you want to get into running, like a running club, a girl-friendly running club
Yes.
is amazing, because you have that like that shared womanhood and
Yes,
that
it was
power.
so
and
positive.
yeah, it was amazing.
And no one was left behind. There were paces
Yes.
the whole time.
There were
and
3 different paces.
Yeah, and no one was left behind. We stopped at certain points to make sure everyone had caught up, and then we kept running. And it
Yeah,
was
so
amazing.
true. So
And
don't
also,
worry about that.
I believe you also get a little cheeky Sweaty Betty discount.
Yeah, you do.
Because they're in partnership with Sweaty Betty.
You do. You absolutely
20%
do.
if
So
you go to the
girlies,
events.
give it an absolute
Give it a 10
try.
out of 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we give it a 10 out of 10. It was
I would
amazing.
absolutely- I was
I would
saying-
love to do it once a week.
Genuinely, we went, obviously it's the dead of winter now, and it was Baltic when we went. Like,
Yeah, it was
actually
very
Baltic.
cold.
But we were saying, in the summer, you would want to go all the time.
Oh my God, you'd want to go
I
all
would
the
do
time.
that weekly now, but I would genuinely do that like 3 times
It
a
was
week.
amazing
Yeah.
that we did it at the coldest possible time.
And-
Yeah, I felt such a reward. I was like, this is
Yes.
amazing. I would
Yeah.
definitely do it.
And you get to see the sights of London as well. It depends where you are. But
Yeah.
we saw the gorgeous sights of London. Running places I'd
Absolutely,
never
we
seen
did.
before.
Yeah, so girls, give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go.
So, Katie, we've got a really exciting episode, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We've recently done the run, and it was our recommendation, These Girls Run.
Absolutely, yeah.
Katie's first 6K ever.
First 6K ever.
Yeah, she's made
Smashed
it.
it.
She's made
I've
it.
made it.
And we'd love to welcome the
Yes.
founder of These Girls Run, Molly.
Hello.
Molly, hi. Oh, it's so nice to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, we've been talking about it for ages.
I know, I feel like we've been planning this for a while.
I know.
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like we're online buddies. What's it called when you've
Like
got
pen
like
pals.
pen pals?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's Molly up to? No, honestly, we had a fabulous time on
It was
Wednesday.
so much fun.
Yeah, it was
Truly.
absolutely brilliant. How do you feel being here? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
I've
good.
just finished my day at work, so
Oh, God,
it was
lovely.
actually a really nice excuse to leave the house on a Monday night because
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I'm a morning girl. I'm not
Okay.
an evening girl. So
Okay.
I run in the morning and
Me
then I stay in the house
Amazing.
for the rest of the day and don't leave unless I have to. So it was quite good to have a reason to come outside. Get some fresh air.
I know what you mean. It was actually interesting because we obviously did the evening run on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was so empowering.
Oh,
I've never
I'm so
run in the
glad.
dark ever on my own.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
because
I've
it's
never.
just, you know, your parents say don't do it. Your
Yeah,
boyfriend, your
yeah.
friends say do not
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And running 25 girls, we felt so powerful.
Oh,
Men
so
were
amazing.
moving out of the way for us. And
Yeah,
we were just
they
like,
should.
yeah, like, here we go.
They
You know,
should.
it was amazing. It was
Oh, I'm
absolutely
so
brilliant. We had a
glad.
fantastic time.
Let's debrief.
Oh,
Brilliant.
fabulous.
Katie, take us away.
So you were the founder of These Girls Run.
I am.
You founded it in 2021.
Yes.
And it is a running group and a wellness club all over the UK.
Yeah.
So if you could tell the listeners what These Girls Run
I'd
is
love to.
and what you've been dedicating the last few years to
Yeah.
and building.
Of course. So, I started in 2021. I was living in York at the time.
no way.
Worked in York, worked at Nestle. So worked full time, and I had been working full time since I was 18, and I just was like quite, I don't know, career focused, but I was
yeah.
like 21, so I don't know whether I can say that at that age.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You can.
I'd always just like thought you had to do just like a 9-to-5 job, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
But then I'd been running on the side for years. I then moved to London for 6 months and loved it.
Amazing.
Like loved running around London. Felt like I was in a movie every time I left
Yes.
the house.
Yeah.
And it was summer, so it was really, really light. Even if I
Okay.
went out at
Yeah.
like 6 a.m, it was light and I
Oh,
felt
it's amazing.
safe.
Yeah.
Even though I was in London, I felt relatively safe, which was not what I was expecting really.
Oh, interesting.
And then I moved back to York in October 2021, and I was out on a run on my own, and it was really dark, and I didn't really feel safe. And I think on reflection, during COVID, and actually when I first started running when I was 15, 16, I was 100% going through an eating disorder. I've had counselling for it
Okay.
since I was about 18.
Yeah.
I'm kind of out the other side now. I'm a lot better than I was, but I think COVID triggered that again for me, that kind of running for the wrong reasons. And then I moved back to York, and it was really dark, and I didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I don't want to stop running because it's really
Something I
accessible.
love.
It's
Yeah.
something I love. I get really good headspace for it, from it. And actually I was running for the right reasons at that point, so I did
Yeah.
not want to stop. So I just thought I'll pop a little message in a Facebook group and see if there's any girls in York who fancy a run.
Okay.
And I think we had 50 likes on the post.
Oh my God.
And I was
Amazing.
expecting like
Two?
tumbleweed.
Yeah.
I was expecting nothing. So I was super excited, and I work in marketing, so I gave it a little name, which was These Girls Run, just to make it official.
Yeah.
And then made a group chat, and we went on our first run on a Sunday, and it kind of just went from there. So we ran every Sunday morning, always went for coffee as well to chat, because
that's
I think
so nice.
Yeah.
when you're like in your 20s or any age really,
Yeah.
your friends are quite far apart. Like lots of my friends had either moved away from home back in Nottingham, moved away from home to go to uni,
Yeah.
or they lived in York but they maybe lived with boyfriends and
Yes.
didn't
Yeah,
see them
okay.
as much. So it was a big way for me to like meet people as well.
Yeah.
Oh, how
And then, yeah,
nice.
it's just grown from there really.
It's so nice to hear about the history as well, because
Yeah.
you're giving so much to other people at the moment. You know, you had like 300 turn up at your event
Yeah.
for the new year.
Yeah,
I mean, how
yeah.
incredible was that?
Yeah,
but it's so
amazing.
nice to hear that it actually came from something that you wanted from yourself.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think the love you have it then shows in other people.
Yeah, exactly.
It really does.
Yeah, I think that's what's helped, because I genuinely didn't start it to make a business, and I feel
Okay.
like
Yeah.
a lot of people who work in business would probably be like, oh, you shouldn't say that. But I didn't start it for it to be a business. I literally just started it to feel safe, to run for the right reasons and carry on running for the right reasons, and to
Yeah.
kind of help other girls run for the right reasons and
Yeah.
figure out that running actually can be something that you do for yourself, and to get outside, it doesn't need to be something to burn loads of calories, and you don't need
Yeah.
to be running really fast or running really far.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that's really helped, because even like now I've got a full-time job and I do These Girls Run on the side, and don't get me wrong, it's chaotic.
Yeah. Oh my God, I bet. Yeah.
But that every time I'm like stressed, I just come back to like we're just trying to help in whatever way we can.
Yes.
And that's, I guess, why it exists, and I'm just very grateful and lucky that it's got to the kind of stage where it is, where we've got so many different locations.
Yeah, I mean, you are doing so well, and you're lucky
amazing,
that in
yeah.
London there is such a running culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely benefited from that.
Completely.
I feel like when I started it in York, I kind of started it, I mean, there's loads of reasons why I started it, but I was trying to find a running club to solve this feeling of being unsafe and not feeling supported.
Yeah.
But all the running clubs I found were like middle-aged men in Lycra, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, that's what you want to do.
You're like, you do
I
you.
didn't feel
That's
like I was gonna, make friends there or necessarily feel comfortable there.
These lycras, Ron. You were
there's
not
no
really
hate on middle-aged men in lycra, but I just didn't feel like it was a space where I wanted to kind of spend my weekend mornings or my evenings. So there wasn't really anything like that in York at the time. And even like, I feel like in 2021 running was a thing, but it wasn't a thing like it is now.
No, it's so
it's everywhere,
done now, isn't it? All over TikTok, all over Instagram.
Yeah.
What have you got? The running vest? Have you got all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely
developed.
But I think it was almost ahead of its time because now people are creating different groups with all these kind of things.
Exactly.
We came to understand your business through Elle from Truly 20s. I was telling her about my half marathon and she said, oh my God, you should look into Molly. And then we found your account and honestly, and it's so interesting how, you just hear from word of mouth through people and so many people know the community.
It's
lovely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I am really interested to know why you set this community up. You spoke of what you've been through personally and what you have experienced. You have a background in brand management and you are currently the senior brand manager at Sipsmith. So you have experience in that and you're well known. You did 6 years prior and now you've done a year and a half. So you've got a lot of knowledge. But so we know where all of that kind of drive came from. But the running, you spoke of earlier why the running came into it. But has that always been something you've enjoyed just fitness-wise? Or how did you bring those two things together?
Yeah, good question. So when I was a kid, my granddad is... he's still alive, but he was the fastest, one of the fastest runners in the UK. He can't run that fast anymore, bless him. He can't really walk that fast.
I'm like, come on, let's get him on.
My grandma literally rang me today on her birthday, like, your granddad won't go for a walk with me anymore. But he used to run like marathons, ultra marathons. He's done. I think he's done it. Well, he has done over 100 marathons.
Wow!
And I remember as a kid, like
over 100
so that's why he can't walk now. His body is just ruined.
Oh my gosh! What a man!
Yeah, I know. So I always knew that, but as a kid, you don't really care. You're not really that interested.
No, you're not bothered,
I remember going into their bedroom and there was pictures of my granddad running on the walls and stuff. So I think that was maybe why I got into running initially. But then, like I said, I think as a woman, when you're growing up, you're exposed to the media and to people telling you what you should do with your body, what you should put in your body, how you should behave and how you should look at everything. And I think I really, really took that in mentally, and that was kind of running was a chance for me to almost feed that habit, like
try
to get
achieve
outside
that.
and yeah, exactly, and to kind of burn calories and stuff. Whereas as I've grown up, thankfully I've had support, but I've got away from that mindset. And I think bringing running with my kind of marketing background has been perfect. Again, I never really thought about it at the time, but now when I think back, like I even remember when I had this idea of starting the club up, I was like Googling on Google to look for like run club names and be like, oh, what could I call it, what's not already taken, and like doing all of that stuff, because once I get an idea in my head, I often like just jump on it, and sometimes it can be a bad thing because I end up like just doing stuff that's not useful. But at that time I think I just got this idea and I was like, right, I'm going to Google it, see what I could do, and just give it a go.
Here we go.
So that was kind of the merging of the two, and I love, like, I remember when I first started it and we'd like get one DM a week or something, and I'd be so excited about that DM. I'd be like, oh my god, because I'd always spent all my life, not all my life, but all my working life working on brands for other people. Like Nestle, I worked with loads of massive brands like Roundtrees and Milky Bar, and I loved it. Yeah. But when people DM'd us, or like when we got feedback and stuff, I wasn't like that excited about it. I wasn't as excited as I am when people
it was work.
DM us on TGR. So I got such a buzz from people finding out about it and like having a chat with them, and I made sure I always went back to DMs and always tagged the girls in stories from the runs, and like I've always tried to keep that. Even now, like when we get loads of DMs, we always go back to them. It might take a week or so sometimes, but I think it's really important from a marketing point of view. If you're building a brand that is like community focused, you need to keep that community focused, however big you get. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not at like 100,000 followers, but I would like to think when we are, we're still like going back to DMs and like fostering that community, and that's what I love. So I think it's just been like the perfect merging of my passion in my career for marketing and like my genuine, I just love running and I know it benefits me so much and I want to share that with other people.
And I think it shows, like we always say how much nothing good will come if you don't think it's good. You know, we've got to say to each other all the time, this is the best fucking podcast in the world. You know, and we're like, but it is, you know. And we've only been doing it for 7-8 months now. And seeing us from 7-8 months ago being like, hey guys, like, you know. And it's amazing how far we've come, but also the love that we have. And when we do get 1 or 2 or 3 messages, we think, we're famous. It's so true. And I think you can definitely see that in the community you've made, all the feedback and the girls that repost and even when we were there, you know, there were some newbies like ours. She's so funny.
Oh my god, no, I embarrassed myself.
One of your colleagues is like, are there any newbies here? And we put our hands up and Katie from the back goes, woo!
Oh, we love it when it's
and everyone's like, she's like, but there were newbies like us and there were some others that just said, oh no, I've come like for ages now, like I absolutely love. And I thought, gosh, you know, and everyone's getting so many different things out of it because I love running myself. Like I'm doing another half marathon in February. Amazing. And I absolutely love it, but you know, it's for me, yes, it's about physical, it's a great way, but it's all mental as well.
Oh my gosh,
in my head I find it's, you know, if I've had a bad day, when we did the run on Wednesday, you had a pretty shitty day.
I was really like not in the right headspace, and I will say, because we're coming from 2 different planes completely, because Kit's a very experienced runner, like you've grown up running. I would not class myself as a runner, so I was so nervous when we signed up for the 5k, because I was literally like, I've never run 5k, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like so nervous, I can't believe it. I've tried Couch to 5k like 20 different times, so I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally like, oh my god, like I'm not gonna get it. Ran 6k.
I know. The route on a Wednesday night is slightly longer than a 5k.
It was.
We were crossing the bridge and I was like,
oh no.
I said to Katie at some point, I said, I think we're doing a 10k. She went, no.
Oh my gosh, imagine.
Honestly, I think the group really pushed me through, 100%. And like the leaders as well. Everyone's like, you've got this, girls. I was like, I do.
Yeah.
And it was it was so much fun. It was just such an uplifting environment.
And how much it affected you mentally afterwards. Like before you came to me and you're like,
that runner's high. So
But we said to each other, we should do it every Wednesday, you know. And how it was fucking freezing. We were both shivering. Honestly, we were doing our own little dance. We were so cold. Did the thing. And afterwards we were like, woohoo! Like, had the best night. Like, it's the whole bubble around running is addictive because it just affects you so mentally.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel... what's the word? You feel invincible.
You do.
So you've built a community for women to increase their fitness and their running. So you've got 9 locations around the UK. In London, Manchester, Nottingham, York. Was York the first one?
Yeah, York was the
That's where Katie lives.
I live in York. Love York.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Leeds, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Liverpool and Bristol. And you've made it such an accessible space as well, where I've seen that you also offer pay what you can runs, free runs, but then the base is £4 a run, which is amazing.
Thank you.
So a lot of the listeners have set New Year's resolutions to be running, including myself. I'm on like my 21st time of the Couch to 5k now.
You've done 6k.
You've done it.
I know, honestly, I was on a little run today. I was like, I could just keep going.
So proud of you.
So they would like to know, how do you get into running as a beginner?
Yeah, very good question. So my advice would be, don't go too drastic. I think a lot of people think if you start a new sport or if you start something, you have to go from like waking up at 7:30 in the morning and like having a little walk and then like starting your work. So all of a sudden waking up at 5 in the morning, doing a 5k, doing a 10k and then starting work. And I think the jump from waking up and not running to waking up and running is a lot. And your body needs to get used to, even regardless of the running piece, your body needs to get used to waking up early or like exercising after work. So what I always say to people is have a think about your current routine. What works in your routine? Do you think you want to start running in the morning or the evening? And then think about, how can I like carve out that time in my existing waking hours, or how can I wake up an hour earlier if I'm willing to do that. So think about how you can build it into your existing routine, because if you go from 0 to 100, it's not going to be sustainable, and it needs to be
interesting.
For it to be sustainable, it needs to be something that you can do consistently not every single day, but part of your training plan. So I would have, before you even put your trainers on, just have a think about when is it going to fit in with your lifestyle, and what might you need to change about that, and are you willing to change that, but hopefully not something too drastic. So that is like my number one piece of advice, because that's how you can stay consistent. Amazing. And then if you've never ran before, start from the basics. Like, there's loads of amazing training plans out there. Runner is a great program. There's loads of training plans online. So have a think about that and whether you want to use a training plan. But when I started running, it was when I was 15. So training, I didn't know what a training plan was. It hit me in the face. So I just kind of went outside and kind of saw how I feel, which I think is a really good way of doing it, because I think, and it kind of, this all comes back to overthinking it. When I overthink something, I either don't end up doing it, or I end up doing it wrong. And that's why I was saying at the beginning, if I've got an idea in my head, I just kind of do it. I try not to overthink it. So try and think of running as the same thing. Go outside, have a little jog, see how you feel, and then go from there. Figure out what your base is, and then go from there. Those would be my two things. That's quite a long-winded way.
I think it's so good.
That fits your routine, and the second thing is figure out the base of where you are now.
Okay, great. Because I think you're so right with seeing how it feels. And I think that can always be the scariest thing with a beginner for runners. We had a lot of the debriefers say to us, like, I want to start running in the new year, but how? And I'm scared. And that is, like, it can so put you off by thinking, I won't be good at it, so I'm not gonna.
Exactly.
So
mindset is everything. I find
really
as well, because I feel like even running that 6K, I found, because I was distracted by like having conversations and seeing London, I feel like I wasn't thinking, oh, my shins hurt.
Exactly. That's
when I
so
run
true.
by myself, I
Did
find
your shins
it
hurt, by the way?
They actually were okay.
That's amazing.
Which is wild. I'm feeling like it's psychosomatic at this point. But like, if I run by myself, I'm literally like, I don't have as much motivation.
I know what you mean. And I do feel like, don't get me wrong, again, training plans are amazing, but I think if you at least go outside or on a treadmill the first time, see what your base is, and you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I need to do X amount of distance today, or I need to do X amount of time. I think it just helps to remove that noise.
It's so true.
And then you can use a training plan once you know what you're working with. But it's really important to kind of know yourself.
Absolutely.
Figure out what works for your mind.
And trust the process, you know, and trust your body. Like I was saying so much to you over the half marathon training, like I was like, I can't believe how much the body can do.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Not only can we run, girls, but we can actually produce things inside of us. And like, how much can we actually do? And even when I was doing the half marathon, there was this pregnant lady running next to me, and I was just like, you're doing it all. I was like, I was like, you're smashing it at the moment. But like, there's actually so much that we can do that we don't even realise. And I was like, so, I'm gonna get emotional. But I was so inspired when I saw you do the 6K and how much like you had benefited from it. You were just like, you turned to me and you were like, I did it. You know, and she's like, I never thought I could do that, but I did. So I think trust the process, but it's so hard to say that if those first few Ks feel terrifying.
And they will do, and that's like completely normal.
Like
I remember when I ran my first 10K, and I hated it. I hated it so much, and I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Oh, interesting.
But that was like a few years ago. But now I love, like, 10K is probably one of my favourite distances. You get into a nice rhythm, and you can go a bit further, go to your favourite park, and then come home. But the first time I did it, I hated it. Like my first half marathon, I thought I was going to die at the end of that. So your first time of doing anything is always going to be difficult. Even if you do like CrossFit and you're super fit in that area, if you then go and try and run a 10K and you've not ran before, it's going to feel difficult. Or a 5K, like it's always going to feel tough mentally or physically. So give yourself some slack for that as well. But you smashed your 6K.
Oh, she did. Honestly,
the cool down stretches as well. I was like, oh God, needed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was delightful.
It was so good, yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It's also normalising that, you know, just because you can do 10k or 6k now, girl, yeah, 6k now, and the girls that haven't done a long distance before want to get into running.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't be asked, or sometimes we're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't want to do a 2k. You know,
Exactly,
everyone has their limits and everyone has their days, and
Yeah.
you know, you did your 6k and you
Yeah.
smashed it.
I know, and I find it's very easy to get in your head about pace.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
So I feel like the key difference this time is I've been like, just take it at your own pace. 'Cause I feel like when I run, like I try to sprint to try and get like 5-minute kilometers.
Yeah, and just to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I just want to go home.
Get to the end now, especially when it's cold. You're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get me to Starbucks,
Yeah.
for goodness sake. So we're going to play a little game.
Nice.
So for the girls that are just getting started on their running, we want to get some insight from the professionals.
Yeah.
And will you now, Katie? You're
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're one of them.
Got my compression socks.
And we want to know, so loads of the girls wrote in about starting running and all this kind of stuff. So we had an idea. We're going to play a little game of run towards or run away. What is it? Way? Run towards or run away.
Oh,
that'd be nice. There we are.
Yes,
Smashed it. So we're going to do a few trends that we've even think ourselves or we've seen online. We've heard a lot that just get kind of going around media at the moment. And we want to get your opinion on it. Now, it's going to be fast, okay? So we're going to be like, boom, say the thing. You have to be like, run towards.
Okay,
or like, run away, girls.
Yeah.
Run away, run away, run away.
Yeah.
You can have it if it's a big one, but we're not going to say there are too many big ones. Okay. Do you want to take us away with your first one? And then I'll go after you.
Yeah. Pure sport roll on.
Run away.
Oh, interesting.
Why?
I think you can buy cheaper alternatives on the market, and also personally, I've never worn it. I've never kind of, I don't know, maybe
I see a lot
maybe
about
I
it.
should, but I've done an ultra marathon and I did all my training in the whole run without any kind of balm and stuff. But Tiger Balm, I've heard from the girls tell me that Tiger Balm is just as good, if not better, and it's cheaper.
Love that.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Next one, evening running.
Run away.
Run away.
I'm a morning girly.
Yeah,
Even
morning
though we
girly,
have
that's
teacher
fine.
events in the evening. I don't really go to
She's
them.
like, see ya.
Because I have work, and then by the time you finish work, I just want to go home.
You've got to be honest. The girls' run have a lovely one on Saturday, and there's a brunch after.
Oh
so
my God,
yeah, there's
that's
nice
the
one on
ideal.
Saturdays are my
Saturday.
days.
So
That's the ideal.
Go on, Katie, take us away.
Treadmill running.
Oh, so I'm kind of, you know, if you'd asked me this time last week, I would have said run away.
Oh,
But
it's changed.
I did this has been a major switch in the last week.
Big week.
I did High Rocks Run class on Friday morning.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And it was like sprinting for X amount of minutes, then weights.
Okay,
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Because I loved like sprinting and like I felt so powerful.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna say run towards.
Okay,
Love.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about what should I give you? Don't focus on how long it takes.
Run towards.
Run towards. Lovely. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the
love
same.
that.
Yeah.
Katie.
Hocker Clifton 8s.
Run away.
Do you want to explain what they are, just in case they might not know?
So I see them everywhere on
Yeah.
TikTok. Everyone's like, if you're running, you need to try them. So when I went to go get fitted for running shoes, I literally was like, man, I don't need a gait analysis. I just need Hocker Clifton 8s. He was like, But I didn't like them when I tried them on.
Yeah, I've heard that. So I have not run in them personally. I'm an ASICS girl.
Me too.
I love ASICS.
Yeah.
Or ASICS, I don't know how to say
Yeah.
it. But I love my ASICS, and
Yeah.
I've not heard great things about those Hoka.
Oh,
ones.
interesting.
Just because
Okay.
of, I don't know, lots of the girls have said they've had blisters from them.
Oh,
and I always
interesting.
I do think when like a certain trainer is trending on social media,
Yes.
like go and get your gait analysis first. Exactly what you
Yes,
did. Go and
yeah.
do your gait analysis, then figure out what trainers are good, and then if it's those, great. But if it's not, don't buy them.
Don't bother.
Because it's not
going to do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How about, what do you think about still run even if the weather is shit?
Run towards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, you can have your notebook moment. If it's
Yeah,
raining,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
go,
I like
girl.
your
Main
moving.
character moment.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
once, so I wear contacts and I was like running in there in the rain. Contact fell out. I was literally like, I was like, where am I going? So yeah, girls, it's good, but it's challenging. If you want a challenge,
exactly, and you do get that main character.
You so do as well. And on holiday, have you done it in the hot heat? And you're like, it's like a sauna. It's great.
Yeah.
Katie, you got one?
So mine is, it's kind of a 2-for-1, but it's a winter run versus a summer run.
Ooh, okay.
Which run are you running towards? Which run will you run away from?
I'm gonna run towards the summer run.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
How about running more than 4 times a week?
I'm gonna say run towards for that for me, and this is just me personally.
Yeah.
Because I've been running for years and years, and for like probably about 3 years, I was just running. It was my only form of, not my only form of movement, but it was my main
fitness.
form of movement. And then I maybe did some yoga and stuff on the side.
Okay, cool.
You are, you're meant to build weights and stuff into it, but I think if you can't afford a gym membership and you want to exercise, running is cheap and it's accessible.
Yeah, so true.
Absolutely.
But just don't over exercise.
No, don't overdo it, girls. Yeah. Treat yourself with brunch afterwards. Yeah. Have you got any others?
Mine is couched 5K / running plans.
Run towards.
Yeah. I see the Nike guy, what's his name, Coach Bennett.
I
see him all over my For You page. He's like, you've got this, guys. I'm like, thanks. Little guided runs.
How about protein bar or shake before a run?
Ooh.
Run away.
Me too. I'm a big run away from that.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. So my boyfriend will have a huge protein shake before he goes on a run. I'm like, I would shit myself. I would I would do a Paula Radcliffe. Wouldn't I? I was like, I would vomit the whole way. I most a banana and then I'm off. I can't do that. I can't do it. What do you do?
So if I'm on a long run, I like rice cakes with peanut butter and banana.
Oh,
That's what
lovely.
I've had before.
Yeah.
And then if I do a really long run, I normally take pizza with me for the way round.
Oh,
amazing.
great.
Pizza in tin foil.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. What do you think about smiling at other runners while you do it?
Run towards.
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing when we were doing it on Wednesday and we were like running as a pack, like Hunger Games and other people. It was mad though seeing the group of us girls, like 30 of us girls, and only men like running at night and then and I thought, do you know what, I'd never even experienced this because I would never do it. You know, my dad would, no, don't do that. And then and being in a group of girls, I was just like, I can't run at night. Nothing fucking stops me here. I was like, it was great. But definitely smiling at other runners because it's lovely.
We asked the debrief for dilemmas usually, and these are all running related, so they usually message in and then we have our little segment on the debrief dilemmas, but as we have you here, we can ask you personally. We asked for running dilemmas. So we have 2. The first one is, hey girls, this running episode has come at the perfect time. So basically I've recently got into running and more regularly and I'm loving it. However, I always get stitches when I run and find my legs always tend to cramp towards the end of the run, even if it's only a 3K. Would love to know if you had any tips or tricks to help me on my running journey.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not a running coach. I'm doing my qualification, but
love that. Oh, congratulations. That's so exciting.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm just going to say that before.
That's okay.
I'm not a medical professional.
Yeah.
But I would say, in terms of advice for that, I'd probably have a think about what you're doing outside of your run that might be bringing that on. Are you hydrated enough? Maybe do you need to have some electrolytes? I've started having electrolytes most days now, little fizz tablets. And even if I'm not running, just because they give you vitamins, keep you hydrated, and that kind of stuff can make cramps worse if you're dehydrated and not taking enough salts in. So I would definitely recommend maybe having a few electrolytes. And just think about what you're doing outside of your run that might be causing that. And if you think, actually, I'm drinking enough water, I'm eating enough food, then I've got enough of a break between eating my food and going on my run, then if it's carrying on, I would go and see a doctor just to
Okay,
find
yeah.
out, like something like that. If that was happening on a long distance, like if you were doing a half marathon and that happened, I'd say that's it's your body's
That's
response
natural.
to
Yeah.
the terror that is a half marathon.
What you're doing
But
to
if it's
yourself.
happening on shorter distances, I would say just sit down and have a think, maybe for a week, write a little diary.
Yeah.
When are you eating? What are you eating?
Okay.
What's your break between eating and going out? What are you drinking? Do you feel hydrated?
Interesting.
When you go to the toilet, what colour's your wee?
Yeah.
Have a think about all of that kind of stuff. And if you notice any kind of patterns, then try and build in what you can, whether it's food or drink related.
Okay.
Nice.
And maybe try again another week with those improvements and see if it helps. But if not, I would go and see a doctor.
Could it be to do with stretching as well? Would stretching help or not really? Or
maybe if you're not warming up enough,
Okay.
or not warming up properly, your warm up stands. So when I learned how to do warm ups, so I've got a leadership and running qualification, and when you do your warm ups, it's RAMP, which is RAMP.
Yeah.
So you want to raise your heart rate.
Okay.
You want to activate key muscles. You want to give movement to your legs and your limbs. Mobilise, not movement. Mobilise. You want to mobilise, so do some hip stretches and stuff. Same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you want to potentiate. So that's like increasing the kind of not the distance, the speed or the kind of effort you take. So think about that when you're doing your warm up as well.
Amazing.
So
great.
I'm not great at doing warm ups.
That's great advice.
Do your warm ups. Think of RAMP, raise heart rate, activate key muscles, mobilise and potentiate.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Oh,
That's great advice.
I hope I got that right.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so the next, someone wrote in to us, "Hey girlies, so glad you've got these girls run on. How sweet." I've actually followed her account for a while. Oh, that's sweet.
That's so sweet.
That's
Hello.
two. Yeah. My dilemma is that I'd love to get into running routine and a running club. However, I've never done further than 2K before, and to be honest, I'm a bit nervous. I feel worried that I wouldn't keep up, and because of my fitness I'd have to stop. I don't want to annoy others, but having to stop, I don't want to annoy others by having to stop, but I really want to go. What should I do? PS, I also love the running gear, so I want to be a running girlie.
Oh my god, I relate to that so much.
Thanks Kitty and Katie, love you both. Bless her. I know. I know, bless
her. So I'll come at this from like a TGR angle.
Okay.
I mean, you girls went last week, and the whole reason, or massive part of the reason why I set it up, was to help girls get into running. And one of the ways in which we kind of make that happen is every run has these girls run ambassador at the front and back, and most runs will have an ambassador at the front, back and middle as well.
That's what we had. It's brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
you're like, thank God. Someone would have got fired then.
So you know that whichever these girls run you go on, there will be an ambassador at the front and back, and usually the middle, and it's purely their job to make sure that you are having a good time. Obviously I want them to have a good time as well, and I always say to them, if you're having fun, they will have fun.
That's lovely.
And their job is to make sure that you're safe, you're getting sweaty, and you're being supported. So if you want to stop, that is fine. It's normal when you're doing anything to want to kind of have a break for a bit. And even like when I was doing that High Rocks thing last week, you're not sprinting continuously, you stop for 2 minutes and have a break. Because your body's like, what the hell is going on? So it's absolutely fine to stop and walk, and if you go to a TGR club, then there will be an ambassador there with you, to make sure that you're okay, and to walk with you, and to or to just stop and breathe with you, and look at London or whichever city. So I know it's really easy for me to sit here and say don't be nervous or don't be scared. But we make like a massive conscious effort to make sure that every single run has enough ambassadors to look after the girls. Because we don't want anybody leaving feeling left out or that they hated it. Like when I was a kid, I was not sporty, and every PE class for me was a nightmare. I hated it. I was so self-conscious. I didn't feel confident, and I always remember being last in PE and just being like, this isn't for me. So I want to make sure nobody feels that way when they come to TGR.
That's lovely.
So it's easy to say don't be nervous, but hopefully if you do come to a TGR run, please DM us on Instagram. We'll reply to you. We'll make sure that you're looked after.
That's lovely. And I'm also going to reassure you that the first thing the TGR These Girls Run girls said when we arrived was no one gets left behind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you were having an emotional day, so there were tears. We were like, oh my God, we're going to cry.
It immediately puts you at ease though, because I remember
exactly.
panicking because I was like, I know I'm not going to be quick. And I feel like as well with run clubs, which I've seen, what I've heard from other places is that because some people are like athletes and they're all and there's one pace and that's the pace.
Exactly.
So I remember being so nervous that I was like, oh my God, everyone's going to be running at like 100 miles an hour. I'm going to be like flailing behind. But the fact that there's that variation and the chaperones that you had that were the pacers were just so good at putting you at ease. They were literally like, well, like if you want to walk, we'll walk, because you're not gonna we're not going anywhere without you.
Exactly.
And that was just so nice.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And I also found the ambassadors were great at regrouping.
Yeah, they are.
We had a great time of doing a 3K, then we'd all stop, and I can't remember her name, but she was lovely, and she said, "Are we all good, girls? Are we all having a good time?" You know, and some of us were like, "No." You know, and others were like, "Yeah," you know, but it was really nice that it wasn't like, "Oh God, she's taking ages," or "Oh God." There was actually a really high morale, and to that girl, be reassured that if you do book on These Girls Run, like, we felt so safe, we felt really looked after, and that, oh God, there was no competition. It was all
it's just so friendly.
Such an important thing, and that's why we don't have set paces, like as in timed paces for the club as well, because if you've never run before and we're like, okay girls, go with this ambassador if you want to run a 6-minute kilometre, you'd be like, I have no idea what a 6-minute kilometre is.
And you wouldn't know.
I don't want to hold myself to that pace. So the ambassadors, they will go with whatever distance you're
go with the flow.
Whatever pace you're going at. That's we kind of remove the numbers from the situation, because I'm not a numbers girl.
And I found that as well though, because it was like, you know, some of the girls who were the ambassadors were like leading the front bit, but there was a few that were a bit faster, so they said just run, but where we can see you, you know. It was just such a support of everyone's need and want from what was what they wanted out of that session. And I think there was no, of course you can have a fear about going and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the slowest, but no one cared. Actually, everyone was looking at London or talking to their friends, or, so no one cared. No one actually cared. No one deeps it, so don't stress. Before we finish the debriefing part, we're going to play Snog, Marry, Avoid with running gear. Okay, so when I give you these 3 options, the marry you can have every single time that you go on your run. The snog you can have maybe a few times, like how much do you run a week? Like 5 times, 6 times? So you can have it like twice. You can't have it every time, but you can have it a few times. And avoid, you can never have it ever again. Okay. So the 3 options I'm going to give you, the first one is headphones. Okay. Oh, we've made it hard. We've made it hard. We've been real hard. Okay, the second one, trainers. I know. So what am I going to do? Third one, sports bra. Okay, so take time. You can think.
Okay, so I'm gonna. My initial reaction, because I'm so flat-chested, is to be like, avoid the sports bra. I don't need it. I don't think I even have a bra on now. But on a professional level, I should say to marry the trainers.
And the trainers.
Snog the sports bra. Avoid the headphones, because I actually don't, even though my face was shocked when he said headphones, there's a lot of times when I've not ran with headphones. I did an ultra marathon last year and I didn't listen to headphones the whole time.
You're joking.
How long was that for?
So it was 36 miles, so I was running for about 7 hours.
What the actual fuck?
No, I was too exhausted.
I'm telling you, you've got to have that strong mindset.
I was too exhausted to even think about putting headphones in.
To be fair, there's like 7 hours worth of stuff to listen to is quite a lot.
Exactly. I don't know. I think I just mentally switched off.
Wow.
So I can go without headphones now. As much as I love taking.
Well, if you did it 7 hours, you probably could.
Yeah.
It's
so
mad. I'm gonna marry the sports bra, otherwise I'd have a black eye. So 100%. Like I'd never be able to run again. But then I'm thinking my trainers. I'm like, if I can't run in trainers, like what the fuck am I gonna flip flops? Like,
sweaty Uggs.
Actually, so Katie and I, my boyfriend and our friend did a marathon in Barcelona, and we went to go watch.
amazing.
Yes.
And
yeah,
we
it was
saw this
amazing.
guy who was doing the marathon with no shoes on.
Oh my god.
So I thought
Wild.
maybe I could like,
Jeez.
you know, my inner zen,
Yeah.
and maybe I could do no shoes.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. So I might do like the snog the trainer. So
Yeah.
maybe I can have them a few times when I
Yeah,
treat
yeah.
myself. But then I'm going to avoid the headphones as
Yeah,
well, which
you're
will
gonna
freak
have
me
to.
out because I'm a headphones listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I went through that period of no headphones but on my phone? So I'd run like.
Oh my gosh. That's feral.
Genuinely, I was like.
The first time we ever went for a run, like, you're a lot faster than me, so you're like, right, I'm just gonna set off, and you just hit play and we're running like with
Oh
the
my
phone to
God.
your ear.
I found myself getting
That
into a
was
routine
so
where my
funny.
I felt like I was underwater with my earphones. I was like, oh god, I'm
Yeah.
so like.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me be free. So I like had my phone out. I was like running.
Oh
Oh,
my
god!
God.
But when I was like listening to things, and then even I was like cackling on the podcast. I was like, oops. I was like turning it down like.
It was so funny.
How about you?
wow.
What would you pick?
I think I would have to. I think I'd have to marry the shoes.
Yeah.
To my little
Yeah.
shinnies.
Yeah.
Oh
They,
yeah.
those little darlings, they can't
Yeah.
go without poor
you-
shoes.
Yeah, you need
Bad.
your shoes.
I'm gonna have to marry. No, I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
It's like divorce, marry.
snog the sports bra, but that would be mighty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Unless
Unless you get just a load of tit tape.
Maybe,
Yeah, and
yeah.
just hold
Just
her
get a
down.
towel and
hold
get
her
yourself
down.
in there. Yeah, yeah. That'd have to be your only option.
yeah, and then I'd have to avoid the headphones. But
Yeah.
again, like that would be a bit of an existential for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm like that with like yoga and stuff when it requires a lot of stillness and
Yeah.
like observing your surroundings. I get a bit like I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, yeah.
Too
Put
much.
someone in my ears. Yeah. Excellent.
I'm so glad I went
yeah.
the same way. Because I could have gone completely the
Yeah,
wrong
she
way.
could have been like, Ix. I'm like, Molly, let's do it again. It's a podcast, all right?
So we want to
yeah.
know your icks
Yeah.
when it comes to running, and that can be anything, but mostly opinions and stereotypes that people have when it comes to running.
Yeah. So I had to think about this earlier.
Yeah.
I think big ick for me is people thinking that you have to be fast to be a runner. Because like I know you said earlier you're not like a runner, but you
Yeah.
did 6K last week. So
Poor
you are a
Radcliffe.
runner.
Yeah.
If you put your trainers on and you've like gone outside and gone for
Yeah.
a run or like a walk, not a walk, like
Yeah.
a fast walk,
Yeah.
then you're a runner. You've given it a go.
yeah.
So I think people who think that you need to be fast to be a runner should be cancelled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so true. Yeah.
Oh my
Because
God, I
well,
love
it's
that.
demoralising as well. You know,
Yeah,
I was.
exactly.
I remember when I was doing the marathon training and I was putting my like full force into it. I was like, and then people would go speeding bars and I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, you know. But
Yeah.
if that's all you can give, that's all
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
give. Like
yeah.
truly.
Yeah.
So when they're like, you're not a runner, I'm like, well, I'm trying. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm giving it a good go. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Isn't it mad that there's only like a percentage of people in the world that do like half marathons and marathons?
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
really
I've
matter
seen
what
that.
time
Yeah.
you do it in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you're
You've
still
done it.
you're still
Yeah,
a
you've
very,
done it, haven't you? Yeah, you're still one of them.
You've done it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still one of them.
One of my
Percentage.
icks to do with running as well, the stereotype and all of that, is that you have to either be a certain shape or
Yeah,
a certain look
yeah.
Yeah.
to be a runner.
Yeah.
I think that grinds on me. We used to do One Rebel all the time, and we
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
What was the class we liked to do?
The reshapes.
The reshapes.
Oh yeah.
With
yeah.
the run, like, yeah.
That roll.
Like the
Yeah.
running in the weights, as you spoke
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
And I remember all different shapes, you
Yeah,
know, and,
exactly.
and I'm not being funny, some of the best runners were
Yeah.
not the same shape as everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't have to be a certain, and even fitness in general, I did for the
Yes.
first time hot pod yoga, like,
Oh, I
look,
love hot
it was
pod.
great,
Yeah,
it was so
it's so
good. I did it
good.
last week and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And all different complete body shapes and sizes and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas some people were absolutely, you know, and they all were the same. I was the worst. Everyone was a great level, but they looked completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought
Yeah.
you don't have to be one look to be
Exactly.
the best, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I think that's what can sometimes put people off from running.
Yeah,
So they're like, oh, well,
exactly.
I won't look good in the outfit, or I won't
Yeah.
look, you know. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you do it for you. If you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah,
exactly.
completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Should we go on to questions, or do you have any more
Absolutely.
icks? No?
I have another ick.
Yeah, tell us
So
the ick.
it's kind of similar to what you've just said about like all the running gear. So people thinking that you need to have all of the running gear to go on a run.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't need all of that. You don't need, like, yes, it can help, but you don't need, like, the sunglasses, the BBL jackets,
Yes.
the balm, the latest trainers, the longer socks. Like, running is, one of the reasons why I love running is that it's so accessible and it's, like, it is free or very cheap. You just need a pair of trainers and some sweat wicking clothes. So if you want to go to a charity shop and get some leggings second hand, or to Primark and get their stuff is pretty decent. So as long as you can put that on and head out, then you're fine. You don't need all the glasses and all the other bits. Like, yes, they might help, but I feel like on TikTok and Instagram, everybody looks like so professional when they're out running. But I mean, when I wake up in the morning, Jesus, if I wake up, I shove my hair back, I leave the house, and I don't look like any of those amazing people do on Instagram or TikTok, and that is fine. So you don't need all the gear.
No, it doesn't need to be a fashion show. No,
exactly.
No,
honestly, sometimes when I'm running around Clapham Common or Wandsworth
Oh
Common,
my God.
I'm like, oh my God,
no one's seen me. No one's seen me. Yeah. I know.
It really can be such a fashion show.
Such a fashion show.
Where we are, like, it's like there's just such an active running community in London that we've spoken about, like, and everyone's running and they all look 10 out of 10, like, in the most put together outfit. I'm like, wow.
And it's and it can be off-putting, because then you think, oh well, I haven't got the sunglasses, and then I haven't got the vest, and I haven't got the Lulus, and think, oh well, I haven't got the money for that. It's like, you don't bloody need all that. Completely. Just get on with it, and you've got it. All you really need is trainers, sports bra, headphones. You'll be fine. Okay, so we're gonna go, just before we finish, we always finish with our questions.
Amazing.
Always do a serious one to do with what we've been talking about, and a silly one to just keep the mood light-hearted, good flowing, all that kind of stuff. So I'm serious for this week. I wanted to know, how has These Girls Run influenced and affected your life, where you are now, and how do you feel that it's affected others?
That's such a good question. Okay, so I think from where I am now, if I think back to when I started These Girls Run, I feel like I was a different person, in the sense that, not in a bad way, but just in the sense that the confidence this has brought me, the kind of, like, belief in myself. Like, every day I have to make a decision that I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've set my own business up. I need to sort my tax returns out. I need to,
so scary.
I've got, like, an assistant that I love managing, and, like, I've got all these ambassadors, and I feel like I've got all this responsibility, and that comes with a lot of decisions that need to be made. And at first, don't get me wrong, like, there's some days where I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? This is like changed my life too much, and it's too busy, and I feel like I put the weight of the world on my shoulders. But I feel like it's made me so much more confident, and actually like prove to myself that I can do something outside of, like, your classic 9 to 5, and I can try and do something for myself, and I get so much joy out of it.
Oh, that's so lovely.
So yeah, I mean, that's how it's kind of changed me. But I do really struggle with the workload and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
if you're working full time, how to manage work. I mean, it is impressive that you are full time working and you are also doing this. You know, and not only giving it a shot, you are smashing it. You know, and you should be really proud of yourself, because you know, we didn't just go to get you on the pod. We went because we wanted to go, and we had a fabulous time, and we'd want to go again. And that's shown through social media, but also the girls when we went. So you have affected a lot of people. You know, the 300 girls that were there on the first 2024 run. I was like, holy shit, Molly! Like, that's such a big deal, though.
No, it's so many people.
Like, I'd literally be crying. I'd be like, no, that's so emotional. But
I had a bit of a moment. I think it was yesterday. I was in Manchester for the day for TGR, and I had a bit of a moment on the way home. Like, after the weekend, I was like, oh, this is a thing now.
This is good. Good.
And I think, like, I know you asked about how the community have benefited, and it's the same thing as it's benefited me. It's the confidence, and, like, the fact that all these girls now have, like, made so many friends, and they can run, and they're like, all of our ambassadors are just normal girls who like running and want to help people. You don't need like a £500 qualification to be able to be an ambassador, because you just need to be a nice person, know how to run, have a little bit of experience of running, and are willing to like help people. So
Yeah.
it's touched all
And you've also saved a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because I tell
Yeah.
you, London is all, have you joined One Rebel? Have you
Yeah.
done this?
Yes.
Have you done Barry's boot camp?
Yeah.
You know, to pay £4 for a run is
Yeah,
pretty
it's just
decent. And then
amazing.
also
Oh,
to make
good.
friends and,
Yeah.
you know, all that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. Well
thanks,
done,
It
Roz.
is, yeah, honestly. I was saying, because I used to work for Sweaty Betty, and obviously you're in
Yeah.
partnership with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And the amount of people that look forward, customers we would have coming in being like, I can't wait to sign on to these runs. And it was always so nice that people would come in actively looking forward to it each week. And,
that's so
and I'm sure you
lovely.
get like the repeat people coming
Yeah,
every
yeah.
week. And it is just such a nice community.
Yeah.
And I think when London feels so vast, having like
Yeah.
a group to go to
Yeah,
as just a
yeah.
constant is just such a nice thing.
Oh, thanks guys.
We got all about the girls here.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Amazing. So my silly question.
Oh, this is a good one, actually.
My question is, would you rather forget your sports bra or your socks before a run?
I would rather forget my sports bra, but only because I am 32 AA.
Yeah.
I don't really need that. Don't get me wrong, I still wear one, but
Yeah.
I would. And my socks, I get blisters. I don't get blisters all the time, but I need. Now I've like been running for a while. I need very specific socks.
Ooh, what are they?
They're hilly. I think it's.
I've got them.
Yeah. They're hilly.
Yeah.
They got me through my ultra without a single blister.
Oh,
Wow.
amazing.
And I was on my feet for 7 hours running through the sea.
No
and
music.
sand with no music.
No music.
Crying. So I did it. So I need.
They stayed with you.
Yeah. I've still got them. I'm never
Frame
getting
them.
rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you should do. Yeah. When you
Yeah.
have like your own like big warehouse of all these stuff,
Yeah.
just put them. Be like, guys,
This is where it
these,
started.
you see these got me
guys,
through.
yeah.
Yeah.
7 hours no music.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
See, where did you do it? The sea and the sand?
It was in Northumbria on the coast.
Sand?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was like literally running across like sand dunes and.
No.
When I say
That's-
through the sea, I mean it wasn't up to my knees, but
Yeah.
it was enough to make me feel
Wading
like I was
through.
in a
Yeah.
James Bond film.
Oh,
so
you were like
delightful.
Bond girl moment. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm the same. Yeah.
Like hobbling.
Yeah.
With your pizza. Not quite
Yeah.
the Bond girl I
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, my pizza and my tinfoil crying.
Yeah, like, help me! I can't believe though, 7 hours and you didn't get one
Yes,
blister.
didn't get one
amazing.
blister.
No
The rest
wonder
of my
you're
body
keeping
was
those
destroyed,
socks.
But yeah, no blisters. So honestly, socks are
Socks all the
such
way.
an important investment.
Yes.
Socks all the way.
Like, can't
So
stress it enough.
you would say hilly ones are the best for.
Yeah, they're the best that I've used. They're so thick.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't know the technical.
Are they like twin? Are they like double layered?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
so.
nice.
So yeah, I love my hillies, socks,
Brilliant.
but they are expensive. So I've only got 2 pairs.
Yeah.
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 Oh, delightful.
But they
They'll
are
stick
good.
by you for life, won't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Oh, I
Tried
just
and
read
true.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wear them until they're broken.
Yeah. Well, Molly, thank you so much for
thank
coming on the
you.
podcast. We've had an
Yes,
absolutely amazing time. We're so proud of everything you're doing, and
Yeah.
like you should
And
feel
you.
so proud. Thank you.
Really love you.
Yeah, next time we'll invite you on and we'll talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
I'll interview.
Yeah. We'll be like, well, I'm really proud of the podcast because I'm influenced. Yeah. No, but we always should support girls.
Yes.
We've-
Yeah,
at this time,
absolutely.
we've like had 3 guests on, and they've all been girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
we
it's just been so
absolutely love
nice to support businesses growing like
Yeah.
ours, like
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
And we just love being it and doing all of this. So thank you so
Amazing.
much.
Thank
so I hope you have a
you.
great week.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
yeah, this has been a very good start to my week.
Oh, good. Give you a little
Positive
pump.
vibes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
thank
Thank you,
you.
listeners. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.